Oh, so we are going ahead with the presentation. First of all, good afternoon and welcome to one and all who have joined for our webinar on this digital classroom platform. I am CV Ajit Kumar from InBiotech Microsystems. InBiotech is based out of Kochi and we are the official business partners of ZEISS in Kerala. About ZEISS, as you all know, ZEISS is an internationally leading technology enterprise operating in the fields of optics and optoelectronics. We, partnering with ZEISS, would like to introduce you to the digital classroom, the modern concept in microscopy classroom. Our presentation consists of 15 slides. Probably we will take you through the slides in next 15 minutes. You can send your queries as text message in between the presentation, chat message which you can see there, and we will answer them at the end of the session. Or it can be sent by mail to us. We will come back to you with the answers. Before we start understanding about the digital classroom, let's just look into our present classroom setup or a microscopy discussion room. The first picture shows a 10-headed microscope for 10 students. We all know that the multi-headed microscope produces poor image due to the weak illumination. You know, when one microscopic image is split into 10, naturally the light coming on each head would be, each eyepiece would be 1/10 of that. So the illumination what you get on each binoculars is poor, which is not sufficient to see the image, see the clear image. The second picture is of another setup of multiple microscopes in a classroom, wherein you can see a teacher sitting with a student and explaining. The limitation is that he can give attention to only one student at a time, and also he has to move to each station to explain, which will consume more time and effort. The class won't be interactive too. Here comes the significance of digital classroom. I'll go to the next slide. Day by day, the universities or institutes are competing for the best rankings and the best students. There is a need to differentiate themselves with the modern student labs. The question is, are we able to teach them with the latest technology? We all are living in the generation of digital natives, because even school students are using their tabs and mobiles to learn. So are we prepared for the new gen? This picture shows a lab at university. There is a university in Australia, Sydney University, University of Technology Science, Sydney, wherein they have installed a digital classroom with multiple heads together. This slide shows the transformation of conventional blackboard classroom. We were learning in the slate when we started our nursery school. So from the conventional blackboard classroom, how this is transformed to modern classroom, wherein they have interactive discussion and students get motivated with the lesson content. Most of by this time in your experience, you might have experienced that most of the students don't like sitting in the classroom for long hours. If students are fun, they will surely like it. So I will show you a video. So, for the video, depending upon the speed of the internet connection, there might be a lag. Please excuse me for that. It's in German with an English translation also in the background. You will hear, it in English.
Mein Name ist Paul Mühlenhoff.
My name is Paul Mühlenhoff.
Ich bin Biologielehrer am
I'm a
Heinberg-Gymnasium.
biology teacher at the Heinberg Gymnasium in Göttingen. Today, we will be working with size microscopes with a 10th grade class.
Ziel der heutigen Übung ist es,
The goal for today's exercise is to determine the water quality of a lake using the planktonic organisms present.
für den Einsatz ist
To
besonders
do this, it's especially important that we work with powerful microscopes that provide us with high contrast at an excellent resolution. Planktonic organisms are nearly transparent. To identify them properly, it's important that we see clear and crisp microscopic images.
die Vernetzung der Mikroskope.
The interconnectivity of these microscopes has some decisive advantages for me as a teacher.
Das, was
On the one hand, it is possible to project what a pupil is looking at onto the screen at the front. That way, everyone can see this microscopic image. On the other hand, I can constantly see on my tablet what the students are seeing with their microscopes. This allows me to better help them.
für die Schüler ist die
For the students, using the microscopes in connection with the tablets is particularly motivating. Being able to measure objects directly on the tablet is a nice feature. That makes it significantly easier to identify them.
Die Schüler wachsen auf in einer zunehmend
The
digitalisierten
students are growing up in an increasingly digitized and interconnected environment. So it is especially motivating for them when they get to work with an everyday tool in biology class and thus benefit from this interconnectivity.
Also wir hatten heute wahnsinnig viel Spaß bei
We
der
had
Arbeit.
tons of fun while working today. And for me as a teacher, the best thing is that the students learned a lot.
With that video, hope that video was clear to all of you. With that video, we have seen that how much is the importance of interactive discussion in a classroom with fun. And teacher could be able to see all the microscopic images together in his tab and project it and lead the discussions in the classroom well. I'll go to the next slide. What are the benefits of digital classroom to the teacher? Number one is, students like using modern electronic gadgets. Hence, they get motivated by using digital devices. Everybody is having digital devices, and more than sitting in front of a textbook or notebook, they would like to sit with their tab or mobile, whatever they have. Second is teacher can monitor all student microscope from his or her iPad whilst moving around the classroom. So he can sit at one place or he can move around. He will be seeing all the images together. And then you can take one individual's image and project it to a big monitor or an LCD projector and explain it. You can select out of the images whatever you see. If there are 10 images, if number 4 is good, you can select that number 4 and project it on the big monitor or LCD projector. You can share the live streams, images and videos online. If there is a dissection learning in the lab, it can be streamed in a bigger monitor for the entire classroom and discuss. Ultimately, you will be killing less number of animals for the dissection studies. These all are done with a software called LabScope, which is available to download free from iTunes Store. It's a simple software. Students don't need any training to use it in the classroom. It is very simple for students. So they would be having a personalized learning atmosphere. I'll go to the next slide. Yeah. So this is how you can create a digital classroom. It is set in 3 steps. Step 1 is buy the lab scope ready size microscope with camera. It can be either a group of upright or inverted or stereo microscopes, or it can be combinations as well. You can choose the microscope, based on your applications. For zoology, sometimes you may require stereo microscopes. For botany, you may require stereo as well as upright microscopes. It can be a combination of all these microscopes together and connect them to a Wi-Fi enabled network that spans the whole classroom. For connecting the microscope, in fact, it is not microscope camera fixed on the microscope. For connecting that, we use routers. There are different type of routers available depending upon the number of systems to be connected. And then, if there is one more important thing is if you are buying few numbers of microscopes in the beginning, you can increase it to many in the future by adding these routers. There are some installations globally available with more than 70 systems. And this number you can choose. Sometimes, if there are 20 students, you may not require 20 microscopes. Maybe in one test, you can choose one, maybe for four students together, one each. It can be done with 5 microscopes as well. Step 2 is to download the app. It is available in App Store, and install it in your device. We all know how to get it. For teachers, there is a separate teacher module available. And this teacher module would show all the microscopes, all the microscopy images together in his or her gadget. And step 3 is connecting up the iPads to the Wi-Fi network and start using this lab scope. So this is very simple. This is the simple setup for the digital classroom. The most important thing is that app as well as teachers app and the connectivity, the capability of camera for Wi-Fi connectivity. This slide shows what are the benefits at a glance. Teacher can see all, they can see multiple images together on her or his device. If one image is different than others, they can project it and explain it in the classroom. For example, this image, they can immediately project it in the classroom. If one is not observing the right image, one of the students, if he is not observing the right image, you can choose that and project it and explain it, why this is not important, why this is not correct. Teacher can give individual support. They can give assignments online immediately with respect to the image. If you would like to give one assignment, you can give an assignment immediately, and students can answer it back online also. And with regard to this drawing tool, we all have experienced that in presently also many institutes are using drawing tool accessory connected to the microscope for drawing what they observe in the microscope. Now this could be done, this drawing tool function could also be done through this app. You can trace wherever the pencil goes and it can be traced through the tab. So that is a very nice feature. And you can do the measurements Measurements can be done live by the student themselves when they are having the tab. They can give annotations. They can, if they want to note something with respect to the image, what they see, they can do that. And they can document, they can share their files within their external hard disk or by mail or in their mobile. So they can record all the images or videos in their history. And then last but not least, the students can see the area of interest or region of interest. It can be projected with the laser pointer. So with the laser pointer, you can project it on the screen, and you can show some particular area of interest. So that is also a nice feature in an interactive classroom. So summary, apps have the potential to revolutionize student training courses. Digital classroom can transform your student lab into a modern Wi-Fi enabled network. And the most importantly, interactive class and engagement can enthuse the students on their lesson content. We would like to keep you informed that we have installed a digital classroom setup for 10 students at Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology, Trivandrum recently. So that is with, they have started an MSc course recently, and it is installed in that lab. And for more information on this digital classroom, you may visit the website www.size.com/digital-classroom. And those who have registered for our demonstration, they would be get connected. We would come back to you. We would see the possibility of demonstrating on site. So benefit of connectivity is more efficient way to operate. Ultimately, the student's motivation is important in education. And it can be used in health sector also. For example, in a diagnostic lab, if they are using multiple microscopes together, and if they are taking second opinion from the expert within the lab, they can connect up and they can share the image online. With that, we will conclude our session. We will see if there are any questions. We will try to answer that. One question I am seeing, can we upgrade existing size models to digital ones? Surely we can. If there is a trinocular available, or if there is binocular also, we can change it to trinocular and upgrade it for the digital classroom. Yes, madam. Are there any other questions? So with that, we will end our session. So, okay, there is one more question. What is the cost of microscope that is installed at RGCB? That was about 32,000 euro plus the customs duty and other things, approximately 30 lakhs. So it varies based on the configuration of the microscopes and number of microscopes, configuration of the microscope as well as camera. So you can choose the best configuration for your classroom. Yeah, so sure, you want to have a demonstration at St. Teresa's College, we would do that, definitely. So with that, I hope there is no other question. If there are still questions, please write back to us. We thank you very much for joining in this session. Hope it was interesting.